Welcome back, everybody, to the weekend show where I'll be doing technical analysis on big mega cap stocks. So, before we get started, please hit that like button, and 150 likes on this video would be greatly appreciated, guys. And if you're new here, definitely consider subscribing and also help us get to 10,000 subscribers. Now, with that being said, we got the market closed on Friday. We got a 3-day weekend, and today is the last day. So, happy Easter to all of you guys out there. Hope you're enjoying and getting ready for the market tomorrow morning. Trump's approval rating on economy drops to lowest level. That's really bad. So, he has to make some moves, something where things will turn back up, especially in the market. And you can see Trump renews call for Powell to lower rate. And that's been the call because rates are really high, and people are struggling with rates are high where they are right now, and then also the inflation. Now, we do have lots of big earnings coming up this week, starting with big names like Verizon, GE, Tesla. You got Enphase, Boeing, AT&T, Intel, Google, Nokia, Southwest. Some of the names that are really big ones would be right here: Tesla. Then you got Boeing, AT&T, Intel, and Google. These companies are reporting earnings this week. So if you want to take a screenshot, go ahead and do that. Then we have the stock market. We got Dow actually down on earnings from UNH on Thursday, 1.33%, Nasdaq flat, S&P flat, and Russell going up 0.82%. Now, with that being said, guys, people that are serious about trading and you want to learn and you want to get all my daily trade ideas, swing trade ideas, live trading, and all kinds of long-term and short-term setups, definitely check out my link down below in the description for Patreon. And now let's get right into Nvidia. Nvidia stock is down nearly 3% on Thursday. And if you look at my screen, we actually never went back up to 107. And now it's trading around 101. So Nvidia here, guys, if you look at my screen, there is some support around 100, but critical level to hold to the downside would be right down here at 96. So watch out for that. Also, we do have this death cross happening here. And we actually never went back to retest not only this 50-day moving average, not even the daily 200 SMA, which is sitting on top. So that is, something to watch. And you can see right here, we got this double top look right here. Then from there, lower highs and lower lows. It just making lower highs, and this is a new, lower high here on Nvidia that took place, last week. So Nvidia definitely, I mean, it's not out of the woods yet, and there is more potential on Nvidia stock for more downside. So watch out. Your key line is in 100 below that 96, and then we might be retesting these lows down here at 86. To the upside, Nvidia needs to reclaim, recapture, get over 107. In that case, we might see this gap getting filled right here at 110.56, and over that, we might come up and retest 50-day and the resistance right here at 118. On Microsoft, it was down Thursday 1%. And if you look at my screen, we do have earnings coming up end of this month. And Microsoft now trading near the support right here, $366. And if that gives up, it will possibly come down to this lower Bollinger Band, which is at 355. And then from there, we might be retesting these lows down here at 350, or even this lower target at 345. Now to the upside, Microsoft can find some support going into tomorrow's session right here at 366, and this thing bounces back up over 375.61 over this orange line on your screen, 13-day moving average. In that case, you're going to see a push up to 379, possibly up to this gap at some point, 384. On AMD, it's down nearly 1% on Thursday and closing right above the support 85 and just holding on to it and not quite going up and filling this gap. And not to mention all these gaps here on AMD to the upside. You can see bunch of gaps, just recent ones, guys. 90, 100, 108, and then not to mention all these ones up here. And you'll find more gaps. I'm not going there now. So AMD is still, in my view, if we're thinking about long term fantastic opportunity. I mean, it's not going to stay down here for too long. And if you're actually subscribed to my channel, AMD came down before back in 2022, back where I started the channel also, 5 years ago. You know, AMD was down at that point, 50, 60, $70. And I keep saying this is a massive opportunity. And we made a big move to the upside, brand new all time high. And it was in a bull run for over a year. Same thing now. We're going back, getting this big, move to the downside. It's in a downtrend. It's in bear market, and people are saying, "Oh, it's gonna go to $50 or $40." That's not the main thing. The main thing is catch that move to the upside and how big of a move this stock can make. Definitely, I'm not gonna say 100%. I'm not gonna say 100% that this stock can double from here, but I think at least at the lower end, you can easily make 50% on AMD only if you're thinking long term and outside the box and not just buying puts near the lows and shorting into the hole. So AMD 85, your key line in the sand. Otherwise, we might be coming back and retesting these lows, 78 to 76. To the upside, there will be resistance at 91, or I would say 92, these moving averages. Over that, we have this gap from last week, close to 95. And if we can get over all that, trade over 97, then watch out for this gap at 100 on AMD. On Netflix, they actually had earnings right after closing on Thursday, but looks like, it didn't really go up that much, up to 1,000. So it's going to be interesting to see what this stock does going into tomorrow's session, because I think, if this thing cannot get past 1,000 and stays below that, this gains that Netflix has after earnings might just give up everything. So Netflix here, they I think they got a beat or somewhat of a beat on earnings. I didn't quite look at it, but it's not something that is really impressive, I think, and that is why you're seeing in the price action, which is up only 3.39%, and last time it was up like 100 and some dollars, like $130 on that earnings. So this thing definitely not going up in a big way. So that shows that a lot of investors are not trying to go and invest money on Netflix that is already trading close to 1000, had a massive run. We still have this head and shoulder pattern. So if this thing were to come down under 1000 and trades below 1000 tomorrow, then yes, there is more downside, possibly down to 959, 936. If this thing can remain over 1000 and consolidate right here, then that would be more bullish for a move up to this high right here, 1064. And I would not, bet on that. If this thing is trading over 1000 the entire time, then definitely it will come back up and retest these highs right here, previous all-time highs. So that is my take on Netflix. This thing will be moving tomorrow, that's for sure. So watch out on that big move, whether to the downside or this thing continues that move to the upside. On Apple stock, it's up 1.40%. So Apple was up on Thursday. We got up to 198, and you can see this previous all-time high, previous resistance right here, now acting as a resistance, and immediately Apple came back and now trading at 196.98 just before closing. So we need to get over 198. And if that's out, you can actually have a nice move up all the way up to 207 and possibly up to this high, maybe even close this gap at some point, 221. We do have earnings coming up first of the month, May 1st, right here on Apple. So that is something to watch. Last few earnings, they were not great. And I don't know how this one's going to be, especially with tariff, inflation, and all that. So, everything that's going to happen around Apple stock will definitely impact from this earning, which is coming next month. Now to the downside, your key line is sent right here on Apple. If you look at my screen right here at 193, that gives up down here at 190, and then it can go much, much lower down to 185 to even 183. But so far, if you look at it from the lows, it's holding well over 50% of that daily candle. We came back here, but you can see this thing just continued to move even higher, and now we're getting a slight small pullback. So Apple definitely has room to the upside if this thing can run over 198, and I look forward to that going into this week. On Amazon, stock is down 1%, so lots of things happening with Amazon. We do have earnings coming up also on Amazon same day as Apple. Now, let me explain what is happening with Amazon. If you see, products on Amazon that is coming to your house, and at one point, I think about 15 years ago or so, where they have a business account, you can sell stuff that you buy from Alibaba and various others, Chinese marketplace. You can get these products really cheap, especially like phone cases, phone chargers, lots of other things. I'm just naming, a few here in this video. All that is coming from China. And toys you buy from Amazon, lots of things that you buy. Mostly, I think about 60-70%. I'm not exactly sure, but this is just based on top of my head. Mostly, most things that are sold on Amazon are Chinese products that people buy from China and they resell on Amazon for a little profit. These are smaller businesses that actually run this big company, Amazon. Not everything you see, you see that, you order from Amazon, but basically somebody's selling you that from Amazon, not Amazon actually selling it, right to you. That is somebody's business. They're running that business, whether it could be a phone case or a toy or maybe some pills. It's a different company, but they're getting their product, mostly from China, and that is affecting the stock as well because these tariffs are killing that business. And people that are buying, I mean, who the heck is gonna pay $10 for a phone case? And now that it's selling for $10, and they're getting it for like what, a dollar, maybe $2, $3 uh, from China as a wholesale, and now suddenly they gotta pay $9 for that, phone case or the cover. So how much they're gonna sell that on Amazon? It's gotta be, whatever you're paying, they're gonna double the price, right? So if it's $10 that you were paying before, now that's gonna be 30, and that is where Amazon is hurting. So I think as soon as we get a deal, the biggest move you're gonna see is right here on the stock Amazon, and we do have, big upside. There's a bunch of gaps here on Amazon it can fill. So Amazon with earnings, last few earnings, they were actually good on Amazon. But I don't know about this one, especially a tariff taking a big effect on the stock and the business itself. So watch out. But so far, looks like it's trying to hold. It's not holding, but it's trying to hold this 173 range. But if that gives up, you're likely to see a drop down to 167 and maybe even retest down here 160. To the upside, there will be strong resistance right here at 180. If we can go past that, then Amazon heading higher back up to 184. On Google, stock is down 1.38%. So Google again pulling back, and you can see we came back here, retracing 50% of this candle and pretty much coming back again and not even trying to hold here at 155. Now it's holding at 152. We closed slightly above 152. So that's going to be a key line in the sand below that 148, 145. If this thing actually makes a move going into tomorrow's session. And you can see it came down to almost 150 on Friday. And that was a good dip if you actually caught this move, especially on same day expiration. It was fantastic. Now, if this thing is able to hold 152, maybe even 148, and bounces back up, watch out for the resistance at 155, 158.56. 20-day moving average on your screen, this white line, and over that, you're going to see a pump up to 162. On Tesla stock, it was actually flat on Thursday. And if you look at my screen, I mean, Tesla definitely not making a big move. And pretty much from this candle, we retraced all the way back down to 240. And that is where Tesla is holding. Now, with this earnings, there is going to be a big move, I think, here on Tesla. If there is some good earnings, maybe some good guidance, depending on, how Elon is presenting that, earnings call to all the investors. That is something to watch. And what is happening recently because of how he's involved with the government, and not a lot of people are fan of that, and even his companies are suffering. You can see, I mean, brand new all-time high after election, and then pretty much a brand new all-time low. Not exactly, but this thing gave away pretty much all the gains and down to, I mean, almost down to 200 right here, guys. So Tesla here, 240, your key line in the sand, underneath that level, 223, and then 205. If this thing is holding 240, watch out for a move up to these moving averages, 248 up to 251, and then 258 breaks. That's gonna look more bullish for a move up to possibly 275 to 280 to retest this trend line and this negative sloping red line on your screen, 50-day moving average on Tesla. On Meta, it's down slightly 0.17%, nothing big, but I think there is a huge potential for a move to catch to the upside, a day trade, maybe even an overnight swing trade, as long as Meta can hold right here, these lows down here near 500. That is a critical support. And we also have earnings coming up end of this month. And what is that move? Well, if this thing is able to hold that 500 range, I'm looking to trade back up to this 517 gap, and that is what, almost $17 move that we can catch to the upside as long as the support holds. Now if this thing does not hold, we might be going down and retesting these lows down here, 480 to 482. So I think it's a nice opportunity as long as the support can hold 500. You can play it back up to the upside, maybe even up to this trend line, which is at right here. If you look at my screen, 535 to 538. So there is potential to make money here on Meta, but of course, with earnings, I would not hold anything, past earnings. This is just a short-term trade. As long as 500 holds, you can play this up to this gap 517. And that's all I have for you guys in this video. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section, and I'll definitely keep you guys updated Monday.